Hey YouTube, coming at you with a single typing team, and this one I think is the best way to actually build in this meta. After playing a couple days, I kind of realized like if you have two Pokemon in the back that kind of cover each other's weaknesses, plus a Pokemon in the front that just is neutral against everything, I think that's the best way to go in this meta. So basically you have Ninetales on the front, outside of water, which is there's like none in this meta, and ground, again, also not much in this meta. You can just stay in there with anything. So that's why Ninetales is so safe on the lead. And the Cofagrigus, Umbreon basically cover each other's weaknesses. Cofagrigus is really only going to lose to a couple things: Umbreon and Lickitung. So Umbreon in the mirror match, I am running Psychic on it, so that it makes it a little more risky. And then Snarl, Foul Play, and they will resist the Lick. Umbreon is weak to fighting. Cofagrigus can deal with that. So that is how you build a sort of balanced team with a easy lead. So basically, if I don't see a water type or a ground type, you can just stay in with anything, essentially. I may try and catch here and there, but for the most part, you can just kind of just stay in with everything. Your goal with this team is, it depends. You can it's almost like play it by what happens in the matchup. I think you can do all three. I think you can fight for switch. I think you can lose switch but take shield advantage, or I think you can like win switch, because then you can have like this, you kind of need your Cofagrigus on their fairy, and then they give it up here so I can get back in here, which just is a fine matchup because Umbreon's tanky. So Ninetales kind of burns shields, flips, helps you either get shields or will get you alignment, and then Cofagrigus, Umbreon will kind of cover each other's weaknesses, and then you can decide what you want to do from there. So I got 2 shields early. Out comes Lurantis, which hurts for the bug. Let's talk about these bug users for 1 second, because I tried Samurott, because like I thought Samurott is so safe, and it is, because like it's so spammy with the hydros. 2 things: one, it is really glassy, like really glassy. 2, talk about unlucky with typings there. Bug is resisted by Ghost, aka Cofagrigus, Fighting, aka all the fighters, and what was the third? Fairy, right? And when teams are running Cofagrigus Fairy, it's very tough to bring that Pokemon in. So I don't think, in practice, I don't think with that fast move that Samurott is as good as I thought it was initially. And that's why I think stuff like Ninetales is. And here we go, I'm throwing a resisted overheat that basically one-shots. Well, I actually played this matchup really dumb. I know they had the Lickitung lead, and they basically just gave us sips. I basically one-shotted the Haxorus. So I should have just stayed in there and finished it off. And then worst case scenario, with my lower attack, they can take me out. I can then align my Umbreon on this Lickitung because they are switch locked. But now I gave up switch. So now I'm switch locked against their Lickitung, and this I think just cost me the game. Maybe I think they have a fairy or something in the back, so I could have aligned better. They have another counter user in the back, so I could have aligned better with this, but in the ending, like, I gave up switch and it hurt me there. I just kind of force them to dump energy here with the body slam. I can probably still get to a couple foul plays before they take me out with these body slams, though. So maybe this game isn't totally lost yet. These body slams are going to come quick, but these foul plays are also going to come pretty quick. I remember catching a body slam too on my Cofagrigus. Did that cost me the game? Because it seems like this should be an easy win. Because 1 foul play will take out from here. Maybe I do win this game. 1 foul play. Not quite enough to take out, and then I catch the body slam here. Yes, I do win this game. Right, that was my other one that I went. I'm tired and I'm confused about these games. So I was like, didn't I go win, loss, win, loss, win, loss? No, that is the video I shot a few hours ago with Lickitung. I did much better with this team because I think this is the way to build. There are some losses in here. This is where it gets tricky, where it's just like you have a fast damage. There's only two things that are really, really tricky here on the lead, outside of like the pure hard counter. Pokemon like Machamp. Actually, there's three things because there's Dragon. Yeah, there's three things. There's Dragon, which is the move, which is just kind of like you have to kind of bail into one. I think Cofagrigus is generally safer than Umbreon, but you can use Umbreon too. I just don't want to get stuck with a Fairy on Umbreon, so I think Cofagrigus is probably safer. So Dragons on the lead suck. Super tanky Pokemon. I mean, I took out Lickitung, so that Lickitung's not the problem. Umbreon's the problem because you're just going to get out-bulked and outpaced by Umbreon. So Umbreon's a tough lead. That one I think you just stay in and soft lose. And then Machamp, what we just saw, where you have like a hard counter, hard fast move damage Pokemon where you're a shadow and just don't have the bulk to deal with it. And this is why I run Psychic, so I can one-shot this Machamp. Goodbye, Machamp. Unfortunately, Meganium's in the back. Meganium's the one I have to use still. I really think it's strong in this meta. So I could, like, you can replace Ninetales with Meganium, quite honestly, because I think Meganium plays the same role where it doesn't have like a lot of losses, and it's just so strong overall. Or you could do like a totally, one of my options was totally like neutral team, so Ninetales, Meganium, and a third that you think is safe. This matchup, I just like, Fire Spins were adding up on them, and then I'm just going to absorb all this damage with Umbreon. Because I still think I think a couple Weather Balls from a Shadow Ninetales is super strong in this meta. Just absorb all the damage here. Foul Plays will chip to a Shadow. So I can easily just kind of tank all these moves and start chipping here. Grab the shield, and at this point, like, that's fine. That's all I really need to do. Cofagrigus and Ninetales are both going to deal with Registeel to a certain extent. They bank a move there. I'm Switch Locked, so I'm just going to throw this just to burn the shield, or the timer, because I'm loaded with energy, so I can just come in here and start blasting Weather Balls and take them out before they even get to a move. So here's one. I'm already up a shield, and now I'm going to take this out. So they're double shield, which I think is dumb. Or they just let this go. Double shielding, that's fine. They're going to get it back. I know they're going to get it back, and maybe they're going to try and lower my attack. And it works. They get the attack fall, but I just get a full farm down, and I run out of overheat. So even if they come out like a dragon or something that resists overheat, I'm still Arbok. I'm still throwing an overheat, right, from a shadow. So lowering my attack, sure, your shield's down and goodbye, and I still get to move to take this out. So I don't really like that shield. I think you kind of have to run with this in the back free, but this game is not even need to show my Cofagrigus. That's how over this game is. They're still fighting though. Anything can happen, aka your phone gets dropped or the game just decides to lag you out. Haxorus, again, this is where it hurts. Haxorus is a tough lead. Luckily, they kind of give him into the only Pokemon that I can beat head-on energy here. Haxorus is tough because it's a dragon, but it's also a counter user dragon, so you can't really come Umbreon either. So you have to come Cofagrigus. They came into a losing matchup here, but it's a winning matchup in the sense that they can, that little bit of Dragon Claw damage. No, I can flip this if I want to. The only problem is, flip it for what is the question, right? Flip it for Umbreon or Ninetales. Both suck. So I let that go, knowing that I could just come in, farm, come out with moves here. So it'll just come down to what is in the back. So full farm. and they come in Haxorus and catch on the clefable. So good catch, but you know I have Ninetales in the front, right? You know I have Ninetales. I think they're thinking they're gonna like chip here, farm down with Haxorus, Dragon. What's a new move? Breaking Swipes. But all you really let me do is take you out here and basically get to an overheat. So I'm gonna be able to overheat this, and again, resist it or not. Oh, do they have a Shield Slurp still? No, they do not. Shh. Resist it or not, an overheat from a Shadow Pokemon is not something you want to take. This matchup, I was going to let them throw first. They go double Weather Ball, which, as you're going to see here, I don't think is the right play. So they go double Weather Ball and does not take me out. And now I'm going straight overheat, and I believe I put them within like one Fire Spin of taking them out. Yeah, so I'm going to win switch here. Unfortunately, they have a Fairy in the back, and I'm pretty sure they have a double Fairy in the back, which this is where having a Dark is very risky in this meta, because there's just so many Fairies everywhere here. So I have to shield. I'm reading another Fairy in the back. I'm already so low. I think the Ninetales is going to come back in. Hopefully I can farm it, because it's got like 1 HP less. Hopefully I can just claw. But then the other Fairy is just going to clean my clock sort of thing. And it is a clefable. So I bait here thinking that they're going to shield this, and they do. But I still can't get to a move. So this game is over, essentially. I don't even think 2 Psychics take this out. 1 Moonblast doesn't take me out either, but I end up shielding. It's just a Meteor Mash, so this game's over. Plus they catch, if I remember. I throw the Psychic, they throw the Moonblast, and then they catch to like win this matchup. Maybe a Psychic would have taken them out. It's close. So between the Moonblast, the Meteor Mash shield, and this catch, maybe I could have won this matchup. But I did not. Again, tough lead. You either come Cofagrigus, risk it with Umbreon. I think Cofagrigus, again, is the safe one. The problem with this is Dragonair against Cofagrigus straight up is already a bad matchup for Cofagrigus, so you don't have a super strong answer here. Something comes in and catches a Dark Pulse. Double. Okay, so that's good that I threw the double. Problem is they're going to get to a payback too, right? So I'm going to be taken out here without taking this out. So I'm down to shield, and I'm going to lose switch, which is not a good combo. There's your payback. Goodbye. I can farm, take a buy Sam. I really need to get one of these. I've got 3. I've got a hundo without any XLs. And then I have 2 that I caught from GBL this season that are just like whatever, like the 10, 12, 15 sort of mix there. I go straight nuke thinking maybe they won't shield, but they end up shielding, which is unfortunate. But at this point, it is Umbreon's to try and sweep here. And I read a cough in the back, because I'm like, okay, let's just get this out of here. If the game allows me to, because this game is brutal. And they shield. And as soon as they shield, I'm like, okay, you probably have a coffin in the back if you are shielding. There's no reason you shield a Dragonair unless you have a coffin in the back. So throw this to take it out. They catch on their Cofagrigus, which is fine because I need to take this out anyways. And all this is allowing me to do is now get to 2 foul plays to take this out before they take me out. So Dark Pulse is super resisted and a terrible move. I'm at 2 foul plays. Here comes one to take out the Cofagrigus, and then here comes the second one to take out the remaining Dragonair. So Umbreon can put in work. Umbreon can put in work in this league. But that is basically it. That is the team. I think this, whether you use this actual team or run it with another general safe. So I wonder if PvPoke has the top sort of safe Pokemon in this league. I'm sure they do. Let's see if I agree with it. I think Ninetales is one of the safest. Ninetales is number 13th in terms of safest. They're saying the safest is like Machamp and Machoke and stuff like that. They're saying all the fighters are the safest, which I guess makes sense in this, the fact that like if it's a fair, but is it though? Because there's so much fairy in Cofagrigus. I think why they're saying it's the safest is because yes, you're gonna just get dominated by those Pokemon, Cofagrigus and the fairy and Hypno too. But it's one of the things like the best Pokemon with shields in play. Yeah, so that's the problem. That's how they define it, right? The best Pokemon with shields in play, capable of applying pressure or winning extended fights at their ideal leads. And yeah, Shadow Machamp doesn't care about your typing in like the 1 to 2 shield, right? And that's kind of why they define it like that, as opposed to like switches here. This Pokemon is best to switch into unfavorable lead. Of course, we have Vigoroth. Muck, I think, is a good one. I have Muck on my... Maybe I don't have Muck coming up. I tested Muck, and I think Muck will be on my team, because I do think it's very, very safe in this. I mentioned Primate because it has Night Slash and Ice Punch, and it's pretty fast to get to, so I think those are like good, just sort of double, right? And then closers when you want shields down. Registeel, obviously, shields down is just going to bank and like pop anything. Hitmon top with close combat Stone Edge, right? You just have two nukes here. Regirock, yeah, so these are all just the nuke Pokemon. Meganium. Yeah, Meganium with shield down, Frenzy Plant, Earthquake is really tough. So I plan to... I've got right now, I'm working on a fast... Don't hate me. I'm working on a fast move team with like counter double fairy. So I'm 2-0 with that team so far. So I'm going to run that. If that works, I'll showcase that sometime tomorrow. But Meganium for sure I want to use. Muck, I've already tried it and I want to use to make it work. I probably want to use Shadow Machamp at one point. I tried Haxorus. Haxorus is on my fast move team. I really don't like it, but I'm using it for the fast move pressure. And yeah, we'll see what else I can put together over the upcoming weeks. Anyways, that is it. Appreciate watching. I hope you're having a good weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.